Good morning, everybody. Welcome to flight planning in Toronto. My name is Pat Callist. I'm going to be your captain this morning on Flight 1121 going to Saskatoon. We're looking for some winter weather here today, but unfortunately we haven't had much of a winter here in southern Ontario so far, and not really much across the rest of Canada either, but we're doing our best. So we've got some rain and +2 in Toronto and some colder temperatures in Saskatoon, but mostly sunny skies for when we arrive there. So we're in the flight planning facility in Terminal 1 in Pearson Airport, and we've got our paperwork, our flight plan, and we'll just show you where we got that from and walk through our flight. This is the first officer for the flight today.
Morning. My name's Dave Handbook. I'll be your FO today.
Just coming up on our departure time, we're almost ready to go. Should be pushing back momentarily. Once we do push back, as you can see, the snow started, so we are going to be making a trip to the for a quick spray in the de-ice facility, and then we'll be on our way to runway 33 right for departure to Saskatoon today. Saskatoon's weather, just a few clouds, -13 degrees Celsius. We're looking for a time of 3 hours and 13 minutes once we are airborne. Should give us a on-schedule arrival into Saskatoon. Thanks for joining us today. We'll update you with the arrival time and the current weather in Saskatoon on descent.
So just briefly, while we were doing our pre-flight checks, the weather has changed. So we went from just a slightly wet condition to snow and a little bit of rain. So we've had to change our plan a little bit. We've consulted our de-ice checklist, and we'll be needing to go to the de-ice facility here in Toronto, which adds on a little bit more for our fuel requirement, which we've all planned for.
Okay, so engine number 1 is starting. So we've got our fuel flow now, so we're just waiting for the ITT to rise. There we go. That means we've got to start. You can hear the engine spooling up. So the ITTs are increasing. We've got oil pressure rising. Fuel flow is increasing slowly.
We'll be using Type 1 fluid, so for Embraer worldwide, all stations. So that's the chart that we have for that. And then also we have a Type 4 fluid. Type 1 fluid is for de-icing the wing in the aircraft. Type 4 is for anti-icing, so that we can taxi in conditions that might be contaminating the wing.
So now we're just waiting, contacting ICE. The ground controller turns us over to a separate controller that runs the de-icing pad. So he'll assign us one of the pads, one of the lines, north, south, or center. There's 6 pads. Whichever one he tells us to head into, then we'll switch frequencies again, and we'll actually be talking to the controller of that pad. The orange fluid is the Type 1, the de-ice fluid. So it's taking off the snow, and then they'll put a green colored fluid, which is Type 4, which is an anti-ice fluid, and it's a lot thicker. And it actually sits on the wing, and it has the ability to absorb basically the precipitation that's falling.
It's a lot of wing to paint, eh?
Yep.
So you can see all those screens out there. The taxi instructions are even labeled
good morning, taxi into the de-ice
screens, and then it gives you the frequency. So it's basically a play-by-play.
Aircraft configured.
It's like red light, green light. Is suspected of flight controls. Delay flight control check until de-icing is complete. Advise current passengers PA complete.
That's done.
Caution, APU operation is not recommended during airplane de-icing anti-icing procedure. If APU operation is necessary, ensure de-icing anti-icing fluid is not applied to the APU inlet.
So the reason that it's so important we take the contamination off the wings before takeoff is the wing is designed to be smooth, and any kind of contamination or anything changing the shape of the airfoil will affect the amount of lift the wing produces with fairly dramatic consequences.
So with our fuel, we have an alternate of Regina because of our taxi time waiting for the 777 and the waiting with the EPU on and both engines running. We need to take a look at our fuel situation. What we've decided to do is to drop the alternate, which we are legally permitted to do, so that we can have a little bit more fuel, so we don't dig into our minimum fuel before takeoff. D1, rotate. Positive rate, delay the gear.
Center, good morning, Air Channel 1121, 300. 10-11-21, wind effect center, flight level 300.
Good day everybody, I'm Bill Pratt, captain on the Embraer, and this is our flight 197 to Kelowna. Our cabin crew today, we have Matthews, our service director, we have MC and Sergio, going to take care of our good folks going to Kelowna today. Our briefing today, guys, rides are supposed to be good, shouldn't have any problems as far as that goes. You guys at the back, let me know please if it gets too bumpy back there and I'll get the belts on. I try not to overreact on either off or on until I hear from you guys, okay? The rides are supposed to be good, that being said. Weather here in Toronto obviously is not going to be a problem, no de-icing required today. Getting into Kelowna, going to be a bit of a different story. Right now it's down to a quarter mile. It should improve before we get there. If there's a problem, we can't get in, we've got a Calgary alternate or a Vancouver alternate. We can go to either side and we'll make that decision, of course, closer to Kelowna.
Everybody, we've worked together before, but a couple things. When you're flying, please make your own calls and your own choices and your own decisions. Don't try and do what you think I want you to do, because I don't know what I want you to do until my wife tells me. All right? If I have something to say about what you're doing, I don't like what you're doing, I'll make mention of it. If you would please do the same for me. I'll endeavor to keep things as SOP as possible. If we're deviating from the SOPs and we haven't talked about it, it's because I forgot or I don't know. So you can question me on that as well. Please feel free to speak up if you see something I'm doing you don't like or aren't sure about, okay?
Okay.
Other than that, we'll try and have a bit of fun. So we have our performance handbook, much like you'd have in your 152 and 172. It gives us all of our information we need for cruise, approach, landing, and we refer to it on a regular basis in the Embraer. And the first thing we're going to look at coming here into Kelowna is going to be our runway distance and what's required for landing. Latest weather we had in Kelowna had it as misty, so we're going to call it wet, which is probably our most conservative option there. So it's the actual landing distance wet. And it's going to include an ice speed, which in all likelihood we'll have on there, so we get a bit more speed on the approach than we would normally do.
That's Delta.
So what we're discussing now is our low visibility approach requirements and the chart that we have to follow to keep us safe coming into an airport like Kelowna in low visibility conditions. Right now the visibility is about 3 miles. But it has been forecast to come down to as low as a quarter mile. So we have a couple of considerations on our charts here to deal with. And first of all, if we look at the ILS onto runway 16, it's an ILS DME-1. There's two types of approach on this runway. But the visibility down here at the bottom is 1.5 miles is the required visibility on the chart. That is typical winter when we have to consider the approach climb with ice accretion as we're doing today. Low visibility can apply to us any time of year, of course, but it's not unusual to see this kind of weather in the winter, certainly.
It's holding right now at the actual is overcast 200 and something like that, I guess, for the last at least 45 minutes or so.
Okay, 197, we check that. We'll let you know how it goes.
Okay.
So nobody's been getting in, I think you heard that.
Yeah.
State 11, disregard the call, rotate. 5 miles. You're clear to land, runway 16, the wind is calm. Lights are at straight, or at full straight, and if you could for 5 reps for the one holding behind you, let me know when you...
Yeah, good morning. We're at Air Canada Flight Operations in Toronto. Right now, my name is Captain Craig Kennedy. First Officer Patrick Tompkins is joining me today.
Hi.
This morning, we'll be departing at 11 o'clock local time for the city of Ottawa. It's a very short flight, 218 miles, approximately 37 minutes.
So there's a bunch of buildings with the green tops. Obviously, those are the government buildings. That's the downtown area where the Parliament buildings are. It's kind of on a crested area. That's the main building, main government building. And where that water comes in, that's where that canal starts, and that's where the skating rink goes, and it goes all the way around to here, and you'll see some ice out there. That river winds its way around about 8 kilometers. You can see that canal down there. That whole thing is a skating rink that goes all the way around.
Kind of bring it down for 160.
You see the canal down here? That's the rink. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, all of that. It's 8 kilometers long. We pretty much got whatever we wanted
Yeah.
when you fly CanForce 1.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. That's Prime Minister's ship, right?
Yeah.
Who's the Prime Minister then?
I flew Chrétien.
Okay.
And I flew Mulroney.
Oh yeah.
And Kim Campbell also, or for her brief stint.
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Minimums.
Runway in sight.
200. $50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Reverse screen.
Due to some connections in the Ottawa area, having lived here for a number of years, we were able to get that beautiful overflight of the downtown part of the city and see some of the beautiful sights of the Ottawa River and the Rideau Canal. Beautiful winter day in Ottawa. Now that I get ready for the walk around, I'll make sure I put on some of my winter gear. We are expecting colder temperatures in the Ottawa area, so we make sure we bring some of our warm gear along and our beautiful we're ready. Fur-trimmed rubber rabbit hats to keep us warm. Ready.